Alright, now that your eyes are done, next thing you're going to do is you're going to load this up with a little bit of a dark brown eyeshadow, and you're going to pat a line right here. Make sure that you can't see the lash line. And if you feel like glue is there's not enough glue on the ends, then you can apply a little bit of glue to your synthetic brush. Make sure that this is synthetic, and then just tap it on there. The glue will disperse around that area, and then it'll help reapply that area to your lash line. Okay, so the very next step is your face. So what you want to do is apply a toner to your face to make sure you get rid of all the dirt and oil that you have on your face so that your makeup can be applied really easily and really smoothly. I'm going to be applying my prescriptive toner. I like this because it's good for my skin. It's very gentle. It doesn't make my skin itch or irritate or anything like that. There is no burning sensation. So I'm just going to apply that. Clean up my little face here. Alright, so for my primer and moisturizer, I'm going to be using the Eve Pearl. It is the priming moisturizer. The reason why I like this is because it's a 2-in-1. I used to use the Smashbox one, but ever since I was introduced to this one, I like it. You know, there's no complaints about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this, and I'm going to use it on with my fingers. Make sure you wash your hands. So what I like to do to make sure that I really stick to this method if I'm using my fingers is to apply it with my ring finger. You don't have to. You could apply it with a brush. But I like to have the control, and I like how this really warms up with my finger, and then it just kind of melts right into my skin. And I'm letting the product move. I want to make sure that I'm not moving. So I'm going to take my concealer brush here, and I'm just going to apply a little bit. I'm going to mix the colors to get my personal color. And then I'm going to diffuse and soften any of those little harsh edges. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is you're going to apply a mattifier to your face. So you're going to ask yourself, where do you normally get oily throughout the day? Do you get oily here in your T-zone? Do you get oily right here on your cheeks? Then you're going to apply the mattifier product right there. So I'm just going to be using my MAC one right here. And the thing is that there's all these products that you have to use, you know, to really make sure your face is perfect and flawless that day. And you know, that's probably why a lot of people go to their makeup artist, and because they have all these products here. But if you're interested, you can do this yourself, and you can keep all your products too. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm just going to apply a little bit here. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this dark color and I'm going to contour. So what I want to do is I want to put just a little bit right here on my nose bridge and just kind of sharpen up the lines there, and then at the same time reducing all the redness. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sculpt my cheeks just a little bit. So right underneath the cheekbone, right here, I'm going to add just a little bit of it, and I'm going to use this angle brush right here. And the reason why I'm using a natural hair is that I want it just to be a buff of color. I don't want it to be really concentrated. I'm not trying to conceal, and that's why I'm not using a synthetic brush. You can use a darker foundation. You can use powder. I'm using this color because it works for me. This whole like thing right here is a really good color for me, this palette. And so I'm able to do this without it looking too red or too harsh. It's has a natural, has a yellow undertone. And then I'm going to apply a little bit underneath right here, so I can define my jawline. Again, you can use a darker foundation or you can use a powder. And I'm using the same brush, so it's really, really light. And it's nothing that will really stand out. We're almost done, just a little bit on our cheeks and a little bit on our lips, and we're good to go. So for my cheeks, I love that really soft, just like a little bit of a light glow right here. Some pink cheeks. And what I like to do is I like to use something that's cream, because then it just sits on your face and it looks like it's your skin that's glowing. So I'm going to be using my Luna. You can use like Shell. This is MAC Luna. Use Shell, it's a little bit more of a natural color. See how much I like it. I'll just use this brush again, that's fine. Let's take a little bit. You're going to smile. And right where that sun hits, right here, you're going to apply a little bit. So in the photos, you're going to have this nice pop and you're going to have this. And the rest will be matte. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to apply your all-over powder, or if you're using a cream blush, then you should do the blush right now. I'm using the Eve Pearl product. You can do the powder, foundation, powder, foundation, powder, foundation. You can mix and match it and it still works. But sometimes if you're using a different product, you have to stick with powder to powder, cream to cream, so that really sits on each other. If you use powder and then a cream, it's going to ball up the product. So I'm going to use my powder here. Make sure I got a good amount up here because that's where I'm shiny. Again, you want to stay away from an SPF. And I'm also sealing in my cream base by using a powder. So I'm just going to use this brush right here because I wiped up all the product. But if you have a nice powder brush like this, a flat one preferably, or you could just hold it down like this, what you do, you take your product and you're going to pat it on. Like that. But since my skin's really dry, I don't need to really pack on the powder. It just gets oily in these spots and then dry everywhere else. So I'm just going to fluff it on. Right, so I'm just going to use my Eve Pearl blush right here, just because we know it looks good in cameras, right? You could also use any kinds of colors you want. I like to stick with something satin or matte. Again, you know, I only want that top part to be shiny and dewy, and everything else really just matte. I'm going to take my fan brush. You can get this at Crown Brush. If you don't see this one, as I got it at the makeup show, there's also one that's all white with a black stripe right here. That one works really well too. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to use this mauve color right here, and I'm going to smile and I'm just going to pat that down. Another really pretty color, I think, is Sin from NARS. You can see that right here. It's like a dusty rose, so I'll just put that on so you can see. This one's a little bit darker. Just like that. Then I'm going to wipe this down really good. And then I'm just going to take it up here just a little bit. Give me a little warmth. There's no real product on here, so we're really just kind of warming up the skin with the residue from the brush. And you can see I'm rosing up already. Alright, for the lips, I like to use a nude color, so I'm going to be using my Victoria's Secret Ginger Spice. And I'm going to line my eyes. I want my lips to be really defined. Earlier, I applied a little bit of foundation on the edge of my lips to keep my lipstick and lip liner inside the edges. So I'm going to draw on the bows of my lip. And I'm going to draw my pout. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the liner on these two sides a little bit inside of my lip. And then I'm going to drag it down right here to create a little bit of a pout. Then I'm going to fill in my lips because I want this to be long lasting. A great product to use is those Pro Long Wears from m.a.c, or even CoverGirl, they have that too. If you don't like those because you feel like your lips are dry, then you can just do the traditional lip liner, lipstick, and a little bit of gloss. But I really recommend those type of products, especially for your wedding day. I'm going to keep it in that same mauve tone family, so I'm going to be using m.a.c Viva Glamin' 6, the new one from Fergie, and I like this one a lot. I'm going to take an angle brush. I'm going to just take this color and I'm really going to get this into my lips. Make sure it gets into every line and every crease in there. So it just becomes a really great natural lip color. By using this brush too, it really helps soften that lip liner color too, and it just melts the two colors together. Purse your lips together. And then the next thing is you want to add a little bit of a shiny gloss just in the middle right here, just a little bit maybe of a pearl color. You can even use m.a.c Vanilla Pigment, just a little bit of a little iridescence. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be using my Eve Pearl Baby Doll, which is also a little pink. And I'm only going to apply it to the middle of my bottom lip right here. Give myself a little extra pucker. And that's it. You are finished. Time to put on your dress and, of course, you know, do your hair and everything. But you're good to go. If you want a little bit more of a sheen right here, you can add a little bit more because I did mattify that with a little bit of powder. So if you want a little bit more, then go right ahead. So you can see you've got your eyes and your cheeks and your lips all in that same mauve family. And that's it. Make sure you always wear like a button up before you put on your makeup, and make sure you put on a happy face when you're putting on your makeup because that really helps. And you have that natural glow, so that's gonna make it super easy to put on your makeup. Congratulations, and thanks again for joining me at Pursebuzz.com. Bye-bye.